Hey everyone, and welcome back to the English Flow podcast. I'm Alex.
And I'm Chloe. We're so happy you're here with us today, ready to make your English sound even more natural and smooth.
That's right. Sometimes when you're learning English, you might feel like your sentences are a little bit stiff, like they don't flow easily in a conversation.
Exactly, and that's totally normal. But today, we're going to fix that. We've picked out 10 amazing English phrases that native speakers use all the time to make their conversations sound super smooth and natural.
These aren't complicated grammar rules or difficult vocabulary. These are simple, everyday phrases that will help you connect your ideas, show you're listening, and just make your English sound more like a native speaker.
So, if you want to sound more confident and comfortable when you speak English, stay tuned. Let's dive into our first flowing phrase.
Our first phrase is a great one to start with. You know what?
You know what? It's a very common way to introduce a new thought, a realization, or even a slight change of topic. It's like saying, I just had an idea, or here's something I want to tell you.
For example, imagine you're talking about your plans for the weekend and suddenly you remember something. You could say, you know what? I think I'll go to the park on Saturday instead of the cinema.
Or if you're trying to explain something to a friend and you suddenly have a better way to put it, you might say, you know what, let me explain it a different way. It's actually simpler than that.
It makes your conversation sound very spontaneous and natural, like you're just thinking out loud.
Next up, we have by the way.
By the way, is perfect for introducing a new piece of information that's related to the conversation, but maybe not the main topic. It's like a little side note.
For instance, you're talking about your vacation and you remember something important. You could say, I went to Paris last month. By the way, did you know they have a new art exhibition at the Louvre?
Or if you're discussing a project at work and you suddenly recall something relevant, you might say, we need to finish this report by Friday. By the way, did you get the updated figures from Sarah?
It helps you smoothly transition between ideas without making the conversation feel jumpy.
Our third phrase is speaking of which.
Speaking of which is similar to by the way, but it's used when the new information is directly connected to something that was just mentioned. It's a very smooth way to link ideas.
Let's say you're talking about your favorite movies and your friend mentions a specific actor. You could say, I love that actor. Speaking of which, have you seen his new movie?
Or if you're discussing your plans for dinner and someone mentions Italian food, you might say, Italian food sounds great. Speaking of which, I heard that new Italian restaurant downtown is really good.
It shows you're paying attention and can connect different parts of the conversation very naturally.
Phrase number 4 is to be honest.
To be honest is used when you want to express your true feelings or opinions, especially if they might be a little bit surprising or different from what someone expects.
For example, if someone asks you if you enjoyed a movie and you didn't really, you could say, to be honest, I found it a bit boring.
Or if a friend asks for your opinion on their new outfit, and you want to give them your genuine thoughts. You might say, to be honest, I think the blue one suited you better.
It adds a sense of sincerity and directness to your speech.
Our fifth phrase is believe it or not.
Believe it or not is used to introduce something that might seem surprising or unbelievable, but it's actually true.
For instance, If you tell someone you finished a huge project in one day, you could say, "Believe it or not, I finished the entire report in just 8 hours."
Or if you're talking about something unexpected that happened, you might say, I lost my keys yesterday. Believe it or not, I found them in the refrigerator.
It's a fun way to share surprising information and grab your listeners' attention.
Next up, you know what I mean?
You know what I mean is a common phrase used to check if the other person understands what you're trying to say, especially if your idea is a bit complex or abstract.
For example, if you're trying to describe a feeling, you might say, it's like a mix of excitement and nervousness. You know what I mean?
Or if you're explaining a new concept, you could say, it's about thinking outside the box, not just following the rules. You know what I mean?
It encourages the other person to participate and confirm their understanding, making the conversation more interactive.
Phrase number 7 is at the end of the day.
At the end of the day is used to summarize a situation or to state the most important point after considering all the facts. It's like saying, when everything is considered.
For example, after a long discussion about different options, you might say, we've talked about many ideas, but at the end of the day, we need to choose the most practical solution.
Or if you're discussing a decision, you could conclude with, he made some mistakes, but at the end of the day, he's a good person and he tried his best.
It helps to bring a discussion to a clear conclusion and emphasize the main takeaway.
Our 8th phrase is long story short.
Long story short is used when you want to give a brief summary of a long or complicated story. It tells the listener that you're going to skip the details and get straight to the main point.
For instance, if someone asks you how your difficult journey was, you could say, the flight was delayed, I missed my connection, and my luggage got lost. Long story short, it was a terrible trip.
Or if you're explaining how you met your best friend, you might say, we went to the same school, then worked at the same company, and lived in the same building. Long story short, we became inseparable.
It's a very efficient way to communicate and get to the point quickly.
Prize number 9 is on the other hand.
On the other hand is used to introduce a contrasting idea or a different perspective. It's great for discussing pros and cons or showing two sides of an argument.
For example, if you're talking about a new job, you might say, the salary is very good. On the other hand, the commute is quite long.
Or if you're discussing a decision, you could conclude with, eating healthy is important for your body, but on the other hand, sometimes you just want to enjoy some cake.
It helps you present balanced arguments and show that you've considered different viewpoints.
And finally, our 10th phrase, you can say that again.
You can say that again is a casual and enthusiastic way to show that you completely agree with what someone just said. It means that's absolutely true. For example, if your friend says, this coffee is amazing, you could respond with, you can say that again. It's the best coffee I've had all week.
Or if someone comments, it's really hot today, you might say, you can say that again. I'm melting. It's a fun and natural way to express strong agreement and build rapport in a conversation.
And there you have it, 10 flowing English phrases to help you sound more natural and confident in your conversations.
Remember, practice makes perfect. Try to use these phrases in your daily English conversations. The more you use them, the more natural they'll feel.
And don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's how we learn. The most important thing is to keep speaking and keep practicing.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the English Glum podcast. If you did, please give us a like, share this episode with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more English learning tips.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye for now.